In this economy, homeless is becoming more common. What would you do in this situation? Would you avoid eye contact and keep walking? Or would you stop and help?
Homelessness in the city of Norfolk is a serious problem, but it's not just a serious problem in Norfolk, it's a serious problem everywhere. When you have the homeless population, you're looking at people with severe mental illnesses, normal people who just lost a paycheck and so now they're homeless because they skipped out on their mortgage or they're past due on their current rent. Anybody who is underemployed or anybody who is economically distressed in one way or another is at risk of homelessness.
Homelessness is not is anybody. Homelessness is not it's just a state of being. It's not a disease. It's what it basically is a circumstance. You don't know numerous of circumstances. Financial, sick, illness. Sometimes it could be mental. It could be a number of things. But the face of homeless is anybody. You may find a family in the library. You may find them walking up and down the street and you would never know that that family is homeless. And all they're doing is wait for 7 o'clock so they can come back into a shelter. So, and I tell people, you can drive by, you can walk the street, you can sit at the bus stop, and that person next to you with that family or that child could be homeless. And the only reason they're sitting there, they may be sitting there to wait to clock in at 7 o'clock because they can only stay overnight.
It's just bad situations, losing a job. Now that the economy is very bad, it's very difficult to get a job as easily when 100 people are applying at the same job. It's difficult. So that's what ends up here sometimes. So domestic violence, many different things that puts you in a shelter. So can't judge.
The dwelling place offers something a little special, and one of the things that we try to do most is we want to break the cycle of homelessness. And the untold truth about homelessness, as Ms. Haskins had expressed to you, is it's not the first time. A lot of our residents that come to us are reciprocal. I mean, they've been, it's almost like a revolving door. They go out and they come back. They go out and they come back.
My situation before the dwelling place, I guess it was okay. Living in a 2-bedroom with 4 kids. This wasn't my first time staying with the dwelling place. This is actually my second time. So, actually, they help you with anything you need help with. Housing, job, everything. Well, I'm grateful because they helped me and my kids find us this house. I'm very grateful for that.
What really got me here was the last straw when I was renting a room from the Spanish lady. And I gave her the November 1st in the rent. And I guess a couple of days later, her boyfriend moved in and kicked me out. So I had no choice but to seek the Heart Team. I heard about them through word of mouth. I didn't really know. So it got me here. I like it here. They gave me a place for me and my son. I'm very appreciative of everything they've done for me here. They helped me take the steps I needed to take to end up where I am now, which is 2 jobs. I'm going to start my education this fall, and my son is in childcare, and I'm putting my life together.
my goal here is not to just, in general, the dwelling places, we always want to provide people with safe, clean housing according to our mission statement. But I mean, that's all well and good, but if you're just going to let them sleep here, in my opinion, you haven't served any purpose. But if you bring this client in who's already beat up and then you build them up from ground up, or if you at least just plant the seed, these people can blossom into so many different things. And sometimes people just need the motivation and the encouragement. They need to know that they're beautiful. They need to know that they're capable. They need to know that, you know, oh my gosh, I can get my GED in just a month. It's not going to take a year. No, that depends on a whole series of things. But if there is absolutely nothing wrong with you, why can't you get it done? You know, you're not paying rent, you're not paying utilities. This is the time that you take to work on yourself so that you can move on to bigger and better things.
We want to create a home. We want to make it seem like a home. We don't want to make it seem like just a shelter or a building where people are in and out. We want to make it as homey as possible. We want them to feel comfortable here. We want them to keep on, you know, progressive while they're here. We don't want to see them regress, especially not the children. You know, we want them to, you know, grow with the program. And, you know, even when they leave, we still keep up with them to make sure they still progressing. Like I keep charts in my office where I can have measurable goals. Like if I'm working with them on their reading, say for instance, we got a 12-year-old that came into the house and he was reading on a 3rd grade level. So I'll work with him one-on-one with that. And by the time he leaves, I'll measure his goals to see where he's at by the time he leaves. And a lot of times, you know, he has progressed. So that makes me feel good because I'm a good-natured person anyway, so.
The outpour of love that we get from the community is unimaginable. People cannot imagine how much you think, you know, when, you know, you think the $5 or $10, but we get so much support from the community to donating brand new coats to our residents in the winter months for the children, to their time to come in and read to them or to tutor and different programs that are offered to help them to help with self-esteem, to help to encourage the value that they are valued.
So at the dwelling place, we are funded solely by grants. If we don't have the grant funding, then needless to say, we don't have the money. So even bigger issues at the dwelling place is, you know, a remodeled kitchen or a newer water heater or, you know, utility bills being paid. It's like, how do we get these things paid? So we, in addition to the tangible items like the clothing and the food and different things like that, monetary donations are always a great thing because we can allocate those monies to things that we need in order to keep the shelter running on a daily basis so that we can take care of the clients in other ways. We may need a new boiler system, you know, we may need a new HVAC system. Stuff like that, we definitely need a lot of things like that. We have 2 houses to maintain, and grants don't always cover every aspect of running the dwelling place.
Just because they're homeless doesn't mean they're not smart. Just because they're homeless doesn't mean they're not human beings and they're not unintelligent. We get people come in who could be college graduates, could be someone who has a mental condition. It could be a rape.
Being homeless isn't always a negative thing. It just means that you're going through a rough path, and sometimes when all the doors closes, you just have to find that open door and go in it and not avoid it. Even though people are very skeptical about being homeless, they feel like they belittle themselves or they're not worth anything, but that's a lie because every situation is different.